Men commit when you do these 4 things. Darling, if a man hasn't committed to you, it's not always because he doesn't like you. Sometimes it's because he doesn't feel safe choosing you. In this video, I'm going to show you what actually makes a man move from attraction to emotional attachment to commitment. Because so many women are beautiful, desirable, and have his attention, but still find themselves in situationships, confusion, or being left behind. And this is something I've helped thousands of women shift. Women who were doing everything right on paper, but unknowingly creating an environment where a man could enjoy them, but not choose them. So today, we're going to walk through the key things that make a man feel safe enough to commit. Point number 1, consistency in your energy. Have you ever felt confused when a man suddenly pulls away or becomes hot and cold? Right after things felt like they were going well. One minute it feels like this is it, and the next you're staring at the phone wondering what changed. I had a client many years ago, we'll call her Naomi, who finally met the man of her dreams. Well, we'll call him Grant. I can usually tell when a man is aligned and capable of commitment, and in this case, everything was looking right. He was consistent, attentive, planning dates, and adoring her. One day, he disappears. No calls, no messages. Now, Naomi had set a standard for intimacy in their last date, and I knew he likely needed to process. I explained to her that space wasn't necessarily rejection. It was consideration. Yes, he could have communicated better, but this wasn't the end. When he returned, Naomi responded politely, but her message was laced with anger. And that's where everything shifted. He had experienced her as warm, playful, and feminine, and suddenly there was a different energy. He responded graciously and then removed himself completely. Naomi was devastated, but here's what really happened. Grant felt safe enough to take space, but when he returned, the shift in her energy made him feel unsafe. It made him question which version of her was real. And for a man, uncertainty like this feels risky. So he chose to protect himself. So here's the lesson, girls. A man feels safe when you show up consistently, calm, grounded, and emotionally regulated. What feels small to you can feel emotionally unsafe to him. A raised tone, sharp reactions, emotional swings. These don't pull him closer. They activate his need to protect himself. Men open up and attach in environments that feel safe, not volatile. And here's the part many women don't realize. A man may still be physically attracted to you, still pursue you, sleep with you, while quietly disqualifying you from commitment, especially high-value men with options. Naomi didn't need to suppress her feelings. She needed to express them from a regulated place. She could have said calmly, I felt a little anxious when you disappeared. I would really appreciate communication if you need space. That's it. Standards without emotional instability. That's what keeps a man leaning in. Point number 2. Men need intellectual safety and curiosity to commit. I remember dating a younger man, a fine, accomplished, generous, and yes, about 12 years younger than me. We had fun, we connected, and then one day he opened up. He shared parts of his past, mistakes he had made, things he wasn't proud of. I could feel the vulnerability, the hesitation, the fear of being judged. That moment was the test, and I passed. Not because I agreed with everything, but because I responded with curiosity, empathy, emotional maturity. I created a space where he felt seen, not judged. And from that moment, he attached. Here's what you need to understand. Men are deeply sensitive emotionally. They fear rejection and judgment just like we do. And before a man commits, he needs to know that you can hold all of him, not just the polished parts. If he feels like his depth can't be received, he will keep you at the surface, or he'll pursue your body, but not your heart. Men test you in subtle ways. They might tell you a story, something even framed as a friend, just to see how you respond. You don't have to accept everything, but even in incompatibility, he must feel emotionally safe. And here's the deeper truth. If you cannot hold a man's darkness, if you have not made peace with your own, What parts of yourself are you still rejecting, hiding, judging? Because if you cannot accept your full self, you will not be able to accept his full self, and that will lead him to disqualify you for anything long term. And yes, I hate to break it to you ladies, men have darkness too. You don't need to know everything, but you must be able to listen, ask, and understand without ego. Men open up, connect, attach for long-term commitment where they feel heard, not analyzed. Point number 3, respect even when he gets it wrong. If you have ever experienced a moment where something small created distance and you couldn't quite understand why, everything suddenly felt different. Here's another illustration. I remember a friend of mine was on a road trip with her boyfriend. Everything was going beautifully. They were connected, aligned. It felt like they were moving somewhere meaningful. Then a conversation came up. It started light, but they didn't agree. It got a little tense. Now, she didn't raise her voice. She didn't insult him, but her phone rang and she answered it. And she stayed on that call for the rest of the journey. To her, it didn't feel like a big deal. To him, it was. After that, something shifted. He became distant, polite, but no longer invested. It wasn't until things ended that he told her the truth. He felt disrespected throughout the connection, and when she reflected, she saw it clearly. It wasn't just that moment, it was a pattern of subtle dismissiveness. Her tone, her attention, her energy. You see, attraction is not enough. Chemistry is not enough. A man commits where he feels respected and regarded. Here's the lesson. A man detaches when respect feels unstable. If disagreements turn into criticism, dismissal, or subtle disrespect, he doesn't fight for connection, he withdraws from it. Men stay connected and open to long-term commitment where they feel respected, even and especially when they're not perfect. Point number 4, freedom to be himself. Have you ever met a man who had so much potential and felt the urge to help him become more? And instead of coming closer, he pulled away. The Bible tells a story of Samson and Delilah. Delilah was a place of rest for Samson. He could lay his head on her lap and feel safe in her presence until she began to want more from him than he was freely offering. He was no longer enough as he was. She needed access to his secrets, his vulnerabilities, his power. And in trying to extract more from him, she led him to betray himself, his purpose, his calling, and ultimately his strength. Now, you could say Delilah was manipulative or greedy, but the deeper lesson is this. Any woman who prioritizes what she wants from a man over who he is freely showing up as risks becoming a Delilah in his life. Because when a man feels like he has to change, perform, or sacrifice parts of himself to keep you, he no longer feels safe. He feels compromised. And for a masculine man, that is deeply threatening. High quality men can feel this energy very quickly, and when they do, they don't lean in, they retreat. Because no man wants to feel like loving you will cost him himself. Here's the truth. When a man feels free in your presence, free to be himself without pressure, expectation, or management, that's when he leans in. But when he feels monitored, corrected, or subtly controlled, he pulls away to protect his autonomy. And often, in that moment, commitment comes off the table. Men come closer when they feel free, not managed. You could be everything he wants, but if he feels restricted, he will not choose you. So, here's the truth. Men don't commit because you're beautiful. They don't commit because the chemistry is strong. They don't commit because you've been available long enough. A man commits when he feels safe, respected, and free in your presence. And this is where we need to go deeper, because creating safety alone is not enough to make him commit. You also need to understand how men actually form commitment over time. So in the next video, I'm going to break down exactly how men form emotional attachment and what makes them stay long term. In the meantime, do take care of you. Love you lots.